everybody. So today I want to give you my review of Yuki Onna and her Gaijin lover. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I don't speak any Japanese. And just a little bit of background. Yuki Onna is a Japanese snow ghost. And she has a couple of different iterations depending what area you're looking at. So in some, she's kind of like a vampire that steals your heat. In some, she appears to you on this like cloud of white, and she's this incredibly beautiful woman who she's all white and she's wearing white and she's got long black hair. And she can kill you. I mean, obviously. And then there's another version where she appears with a child, and she gives her the child to hold, and the child gets heavier and heavier, and then you basically freeze to death while you're trying to save this child. So, and then there's another one where she'll ask for a drink of water, but you can trick her and give her tea and she'll melt away. So, but the most famous is the story Yuki Onna by Lafcadio Hearn, and it was published in a book in 1904. And that version is used as the preface or the prelude to Yuki Onna and her Gaijin lover by Larry Knipfing, Knipfing. Not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. Now, Lafcadio Hearn was from an Irishman, and he spent some time in Japan before he collected all these stories. And so Larry Knipfing is also an American living in Japan. He's lived there since about 1980. This story was published in 2013. So the premise of the story is that this guy, Richard, also an American living in Japan, and he's a journalist, and he teaches English on the side to earn some extra money. And the premise is that he's talking to his students, Nakano-san, not sure I'm pronouncing that right, I apologize, and Pickles. And she spent some time in America, and they called her Pickles, and that's what she likes to be called. So they get together, and this one night, he asks if they know anything about ghosts. And Pickles believes in ghosts, Nakano doesn't. So Richard tells them that he thinks his friend Charles has met a ghost. And Charles met this woman, Yuki, who was very beautiful, and they got really hot and heavy really quick. And then she started doing some stuff that was kind of scary, holding him down and so on. And she didn't want children, but Charles did. So eventually Charles kind of lost interest, and he started seeing this side woman, Kumi. And one night, Yuki threatened him and Kumi and said, "Talk to your friend Richard about it." And Charles said, "How do you know Richard?" And so that's what brings us up to this point where Richard is. And Pickles sends Richard a letter and says, "Don't get involved with Yuki, she's bad." And so eventually, and again, this is just a big spoiler, I guess, Richard ends up with Yuki, and they're very happily ever married after, and blah, blah, blah. It's an okay story. I think it's probably more of an attempt at a literary story about multiple love triangles with a little bit of a ghost element than a story about Yuki Onna, which doesn't make it very scary. So I'll give it 3.5 stars. I like the characters, especially Pickles, but we never find out what happens to Pickles, and she's the best character of the whole group, and that frustrates me. And we never find out what happens to Charles and Kumi, only that he ends up happy with this crazy woman. So, not the worst in the world. It's a little bit entertaining. You know, I mean, there's a little bit of question of cultural appropriation, but you figure the guy's been living in Japan for 40 years, so why not use some of the stuff that he's learned about. Yuki Onna and her Gaijin lover by Larry Knipfing Another of my snowy scares. I hope you're reading lots of great horror. Have a great day.